very vibrant. Goes up to everybody and anybody, lets them pet her. Do what she does. I'm sitting in the chair next to this woman's bed, and Gracie's laying on the floor behind me. I look back at that now, and I'm like, she was telling me a ton of things that I didn't hear that day. This woman was hurting. This woman was in suffering. Not sure if it was physical, spiritual, emotional pain. She was. So I left and I called my hospice, and I talked to the social worker. I told her what I saw and what I experienced. And she explained to me that the family had certain desires for their loved one, as we all know, when a person is dying. And so I thought, okay, I can't change their mind. Well, I get up Friday morning and I go golfing. I'm on the golf course and I get a phone call. It's from the social worker. Joe, I just left Nancy's side. Family would like you to stop by whenever you can. That's fine, I'll come by in the afternoon. Okay. Get done with my round. Birdie on the last hole, by the way. Felt good. Everything was all right. Knew what was going on. No, I was going to see Nancy. I was going to try and calm the family down, I thought. Well, I walk into the room, and I met the two daughters, son-in-laws, and a grandson. All of Nancy's family. And we start talking, and I start explaining to them my understanding of end-of-life education. What is expected? What are you going to expect? I said, will you have any questions for me? Do you know how long? I'm like, I have no idea how long this is going to take. I really don't. I explained to them also that she just might be, you know your mom better than I do. You know, does she like to be the center of attention? And they go like, yeah. I said, okay, well, sometimes people wait until you leave the room when they die. Yeah. I said, well, you know, your mom might have to go to the bathroom at some point, and you walk out, come back, and she'll be gone. Yeah. So I finish everything. I finish all of my education. Talk a little more, give a little time. I said, it's all right if I offer a prayer. Oh, please do. Please do. Find out Nancy is Catholic. I said, okay. That's all right. You know, it's okay. I walk in. I'm there. I'm leaning over to Nancy, and I'm talking to her, praying with her. I end the prayer with the Lord's Prayer, the Our Father. Family joins me. We all pray together. I sit back in my chair, and I'm watching. Within minutes, her breathing changed. Within minutes, you could barely see the pulse in her neck. And Nancy dies. I've had this happen before in my hospice ministry. This one just seems to touch me a little bit more than my buddy Bernie, when I also helped his dad go to heaven. You get tired after that. The emotional toil it takes. You get tired. I've read Jesus' story today, and the disciples were getting away for rest, for recreation, to get their energy back going. And why are they doing that? Because the question that is pertaining to all of us here today, what does God require of you? What does God require of us to be here? I think about that a lot. Because I think of how tired we can be and how exhausted we can be. I hear it a lot in the church. I just can't do another thing. Man, I'm just spent. I'm just exhausted. I've had enough of it. I'm too old. I can't do that. But what does God require of you? What is it that God is asking of you, if Jesus is asking of you? Those disciples didn't get to rest. Maybe on the boat, they got a little bit of rest. They hadn't been able to eat. They hadn't been able to sleep. They hadn't been able to do anything. We know that feeling. We've each had our times in our lives when we think that we can't take another inch forward. But God is asking us to. God is telling us we have to. What does God require of you? I think of that in my own experience in my life. I think of those times when I am just dead tired, where I just can't do anything. And for some reason, then I know I have to do something. I didn't have to come here yesterday for this prayer thing. I didn't. There were times I didn't feel like I wanted to. Many people in the church probably heard about it and said, I'm not going to that. I don't need it. I don't want it. It's okay. They don't want to come here for the meditation. It's okay. But what does God require of you? What is God asking of us? What is God asking of us? We think it is the world. But really, God is giving us the world. We don't think we have that energy. But you know the times in your life, as I know in mine, when it doesn't matter if I am so spent that I can barely keep my eyes open, and it's something you have to do. You have to. I wonder if asking people what they expect from God or what God expects of them has caused the church numbers to decline. Because they don't want the responsibility, they don't want to be take too much of me. Take too much. This part that I think about is, I remember growing up and how I was at church every Sunday in Sunday school, all through my youth, all the time. Don't remember in the summer that often. We'd go on vacation once in a while, but we did go to church when we were on vacation. It became a duty. It became a duty. I look at our history by that of us older folks and how church was thought of. you realize that Dwight D. Eisenhower, back in the 50s, said everybody needs to go to church. It doesn't matter what church you go to. I don't care what church you go to. The president was asking people to go to church because he felt that everybody needed it. It was a duty. I don't sense this younger generation to think that going to church is a duty. So what does that mean? We need to change things then. What does God require of us to open that up? We open the door. We talked about doing other things in the church. We have the candles up. We need to bring excitement. We need to bring change. We need to do things that people are going to look at this and say, I like this place. I need this place because I can find God, Jesus, the Spirit, all in three, right here, right in this place. But then what does God require of us to do then? We need to be open. We need to be aware. We need to be accepting of things that maybe we're not comfortable with, all to honor our God. If you look at the Willow Creek Church's brand, you know I see that as people going to church there because it's different. They have really good entertainment. But there's a message there as well. You don't hear so much to me, from my perspective as pastor, the theological aspect. I hear great bands, great music. Brings people in. And then you slide in that theology, or try to. It was something different. Now I remember when that all started coming out and everybody hearing about the 40,000 people that come on a weekend out there at Willow Creek, and everybody going, wow, wow, wow. But we can't do that. We can't do like that. That's not church. That's just entertainment. We stick our nose in the air and think ours is better than theirs. Huh. You know it, Sean. But we know that that is bringing what God is asking of them. It wasn't until I was I was asked by a young man who I was doing his wedding for in the church I served in Brookfield, who was also involved with the church in Willow Creek, that I went up to visit his pastor that he knew in Willow Creek, and I heard about all that was going on there, all the ministries. I'm like, jeez, I wish we could do one of them that they were doing. They had the support and the manpower, female power. One of the things that really, what they did, which just so impressed me, they would take used cars. People would donate cars to the church, and members of the church would refurbish that car and give them to a person who is in need, not pay for. I thought, I can't work on a car, but I would love to have been part of that ministry. What is God asking of us? We've got an idea. Let's work at it. Let's do it. Let's be the church. Amen. Our last hymn for the day is also, no, it's in the little handbook here, the sing song praise thing we have here. Number 66. And if we don't sing it good enough, we'll sing it again, okay?
Well, we do sing it twice.
Oh, do- Well, I'm not like Pat. I have to take the paper so I know what I'm saying. Oh, you're going to explain to them. Thank you. This is our mission. Join with me, please. We, the members and friends of Plainfield Congregational Church, United Church of Christ, seek to embody and celebrate God's love by being a community that lives Christ's compassion and promotes justice, healing, and wholeness of life. A joyous family where all are welcome to join together to grow in faith and love. Amen. And if you would, together, we offer our blessing. We are assured of the Holy One's abiding love for us in all creation. We hold fast to hope and share the blessing of the Spirit's direction, Christ's presence, and the Sustainer's peace. Amen.